On this video, we're going to talk about how to create a call to action for your organic content, whether that's social media content, YouTube videos, or podcast. Obviously, I'm counting on talking to business owners. So you're putting out organic content as a business owner, maybe start a podcast to drive people to your services. You're putting out social media content to drive people to your product, your services, or whatever it is that you do. Just going to make that assumption that's who I'm talking to. So the first thing to understand is why we're doing a call to action in the first place. There's a lot of people out there that are influencers or coaches or mentors or people that put out social media content, and they say, no, I just don't want to sell anything. I don't want to give any kind of call to action. But at the end of the day, we are putting out content for marketing purposes. Whether we're trying to just build an audience for a YouTube channel or not, at the end of the day, this is marketing purposes is what we're putting content out for. So it's important for us to have call to actions so that we can drive people from that piece of content to work with us in some way, shape, or form, or maybe subscribe or share this video or whatever it is, whatever that call to action is. Ultimately, it comes down to whatever you're deciding that call to action is going to be, which on this video, I'm going to give you steps on how to structure that and create that for you. But we need to understand that call to actions are important on our videos, especially for using them for a business and to drive people to our products and services, or else we're just putting out content to build following, which doesn't necessarily pay the bills. I do look at it from a standpoint as it is our responsibility to ultimately give a call to action to people without being salesy and pushy, because we could help them in some way. So for example, if I can actually help other business owners create content with ease and so that they don't have to stress about it and waste money on it and go through the hassle of hiring and that sort of thing, then it's my responsibility to let them know that's what I do and here's how you can work with me. Yes, I'm going to make money off of it. Yes, it's a business that I'm ultimately profiting from, but I am helping them at the end of the day, which in business, that's what I'm ultimately here to do, is to help my clients reach their goals in content creation, whether it is launching a podcast or doing YouTube content or social media stuff. And especially if you have a product that can help somebody, ultimately at the end of the day, that is your responsibility. If you have a coaching program that teaches people how to invest in real estate and the ABCs of that, and you truly can help people, you need to tell them who they are, how you can help them, and how you can get a hold of it. So the first part of this process is obviously, number one, is to build the trust with the person at the other end of the phone screen. We need to make sure we're delivering value in some way, shape, or form. This should go without saying, but we're not leading with, if you're this person, buy this thing. We're actually leading with value first. We're going to tell them a little bit about topic. And it's exactly what I'm doing today is I'm teaching you about something. Ultimately, we're just answering a question and delivering value to people in some way, shape, or form. That's how we got to lead first. So kind of a side note, a little structure that I like to build for specifically organic content. We're not talking about paid ads and that sort of thing, but organic content is I like to use what's called a 90-10 rule. So 90% of your content should be value, 10% should be call to action. You've earned the right, if you've delivered 90% of the piece of content is value, you have earned the right to have 10% reserved to have a call to action at the end of your video. If you maintain that structure, then this first point is going to be very easy for you to come by. So one of the things that's kind of unstructured but needs to be said is make sure that the call to action does match your content in some way, shape, or form. A great example is at the end of this video, I might say, if you're somebody that's looking to work with a reputable service provider that works well with people that need help with their content, then make sure you direct message me or go to my website here, whatever it is. It's the lead through that was kind of attached. I'm basically plugging my call to action into the actual value piece, and that helps bridge the gap from the value to the call to action. Makes it a little bit more comfortable, makes it not a cold start. I see some people put out call to actions where it's literally transition directly from the value to a very uncomfortable pitching sales process. Now, I do work with people, and I do this every once in a while for my content too, is we do have canned call to actions, but it's still relevant to the topic itself, especially if I only talk about social media content or podcast content or video content. That canned call to action could be a very general one that's attached to any of those topics. You can do that as well. That takes just a little bit more thoroughness to make it general to all the topics that you talk. The next phase of this is just to create a little bit of curiosity, not pressure. So a great example is exactly what I said. This isn't the end of the process. If you guys want to learn more about how I work with my clients, by me saying how I work with my clients, that does also create a little bit of authority as well. because I'm telling you, like, I actually do this on a daily basis. So if you need help with this, then, and you want to learn how I work with my clients, and then do this. That's ultimately what we want to accomplish too. So creating some form of curiosity does help as well. And a little hot tip, by the way, that I'm going to insert here is use AI to help you craft these call to actions, because you could literally plug my entire framework here, transcribe this video, throw this into ChatGPT and say, here's my services. I need help crafting a good call to action that's scripted that I can use on my videos. And that's a really good way. I've done that for clients many times, where I'll take what their product is, or even a page to their website, and say, I need a call to action crafted based on these criteria. And then I'll plug in my outline here, and it'll give me some good call to actions. I send that script to my client, have them record it, and then we add it into the video. So wrapping this up, the 4 pillars and kind of the framework, or the steps, if you will, of a proper call to action is as follows. Number 1 is you're labeling the person. So you are this person. So for me, it might be, so maybe you're a business owner, and then maybe you're a real estate investor that needs help with content. That's my framework. That's number 1. Number 2 is, and you need this, so the service itself. So number 1 is you're a real estate investor that needs help with content creation. That's my number 2 pillar. So number 1 is labeling the person, so who they are. Number 2 is what they need, or maybe the pain points, or whatever it is. Maybe an example of a pain point would be, so you're a real estate investor that hates doing content because it sucks with the process, or you can't find somebody that's reliable to record for you. That's the pain point, right? So that's number 2 we're addressing. Number 3 is your service. So it's what I actually have. So I could say, if you're a real estate investor that needs help with video content, I actually have a solution for that, where I actually can come out to your location, film content with you on site. Now I'm talking about it a little bit, but more in a casual, thorough way. So I'm not pushing my salesiness on you in any way, shape, or form. We're just piquing some curiosity, telling you what I have to offer. Then the last thing is how they can get it. So now I'm going to say, if you're a real estate investor that needs help with content creation, well, I have a solution for you where I can come out to visiting you on site, record content with you for a day, and that's how you can, that's the service that I offer. You can get that by direct messaging me on Facebook or Instagram, and just tell me that you want to chat about it. So I'm going to tell them how to get it. And the objective there is to make it as simple as possible. If they have to dial a phone number, if they have to go to a very specific website, if I have to tell them, go to colormedia.com/form/videos/shoot/message me, then they're never going to do that. That my conversion rate is going to be 0, because that's going to take forever to people to type in. They're just not going to give effort for that. So make it easy. And that's why you see a lot of people on social media, they'll say, direct message me, or whatever it is. And that's easy because somebody can literally click the icon for the direct message and then send a message that they're interested in that. So those are the 4 pieces of framework that really helps facilitate creating a very good, clean call to action, and then plug that into with all the utilization of the tips I gave before. And now you're going to have a great call to action on your video content. So hopefully that helped you and gave you some insight on how to craft those call to actions. I do walk through this with all my clients when I'm helping them piece together strategy for their content, whether it is a podcast or a YouTube video or a social media piece of content. And you can also create call to actions that are just as simple as subscribe to this video, or share this with somebody, or leave a comment below, or all the above. You just don't want to add too much to it, because then you're going to confuse the person in the audience that's watching, and confusion creates stagnation and no action at all. So that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for joining and watching today. If you get value out of this, make sure you do like the video. Leave a comment below if you have any thorough questions or anything that you want me to address. And if you haven't already, make sure you have subscribed to my show. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. See ya.